Hello, everybody. I thought I'd take a few minutes to do another video on the next module. I do realize it's perhaps a couple days late, but hopefully most of you will still benefit from it. I think 4 of you have already done your post, so you certainly have time to go back if you want. So this module very much builds on the last one. I'm sure you've noticed that already. So just pay attention here. It does say the main focus of this assignment or this post is assessment. So you're really going to look at some of the main curricular approaches that most of you discussed, or probably all of you discussed in the previous module. And there's some really great reading and some videos that are going to get you to think a bit more carefully, a bit more thoroughly about some of these concepts. So like being student-centered or learner-based, and what does that actually mean? So there's a bit of a discussion here. A couple of videos. These are actually backwards, so I'd watch the John Hattie video first and then watch this one. So you might be a little bit surprised by the John Hattie video. I found it very intriguing. Then it moves on to different ways of knowing, and this is very much about Indigenous ways of knowing. So I always like to have the First Peoples principles of learning on hand. I love looking at this, and I bring this into a lot of my work. I love this one here. Learning involves recognizing the consequences of one's actions. So for me, being learner-centered is really, that gets right to the heart of that. We want to be learner-centered, but as I pointed out to a few of you, what we're doing is giving the learner control over their own actions as much as we can, depending on their age and maturity and so forth. But really, I think this is a great focus for learner-centeredness. I also love this one. Learning requires an exploration of one's identity. So this as well is very much right at the heart of reflection, also at the heart of being learner-centered. If you're helping a learner to explore their own strengths, goals, so forth, what they're really doing is exploring their identity. So these two principles are right at the heart of what we're talking about this week. Then you're going to look at social reconstructionist planning. So the keyword here is planning and instruction approaches. So there's starting to look more at how do these topics influence our curriculum design, our curriculum planning, whether it's at an individual level in your classroom or whether it's from a curricular development or implementation of a provincial curriculum. Very interesting. And then we get down to these assessment approaches. And when you get to this point, I've just got a couple questions. You really want to focus on, who does the assessment? So if we're talking about a learner-centered approach and exploring your own identity, think very carefully about who then is doing the assessment of the student's abilities, competencies, and so forth. Also think about, who is it for? A couple of the readings do talk about those right here. This one is a vision for prioritizing learning, not testing, but what do we do with the plethora of tests and assessments and so on and so forth that we do with our students. And then you'll come to the host. So just continue to work on your existing visual representation. I've looked at quite a few of them. I think they're all very intriguing. This second view might help you to start to refine and really think about what your peers have said to you. I think I commented on at least 10 of them. Really think carefully about the idea of process and how you might use this visual yourself. Part of the my goal at least in these courses, I teach 6 or 7 different courses, or maybe 8 different courses. I really want you to use the work you do in these courses in your classroom. So whatever you're doing for this visual host, think about, would you show it to your students or would you show it to your colleagues? I've asked several of you that exact question. So think about that when you're revisiting and so forth. Respond to 2 peers and you'll be good to go. All right, thank you.